Everyone talks about the tech and the Black Panther suit, but the real genius of Wakanda is in the clothes you barely notice, the ones that are hiding centuries of African culture in plain sight. Did you know the Dora Milaje's armor isn't just fantasy? It's a direct adaptation of the Ndebele tribe's collar, or that the Busatu blanket is woven right into T'Challa's coronation clothes. These costumes are not just clothes. They are a language, a statement, and the living heart of Wakanda. This is the story of the powerful cultural legacy woven into every single stitch of Black Panther. In this video, I'm breaking everything down step by step. First, we're looking at T'Challa as a character and how his personality and leadership are reflected through what he wears. Then we're diving into the costume design itself, who designed these looks, and how real African traditions were blended with futuristic storytelling. I'll also talk about Ryan Coogler's vision and how his direction shaped Wakanda's visual identity. Ryan Coogler vision and Ruth E. Carter inspiration. Ryan Coogler's vision for Black Panther was about more than just telling a superhero story. It was about building an authentic, fully realized African world that felt rich in history, culture, and innovation. From the beginning, Coogler wanted Wakanda to be a place that reflected both tradition and futuristic technology, a nation that had remained uncolonized and thrived on its own terms. Every detail of the film, from sets to character behaviors, was designed to serve that vision, creating a world that felt alive and deeply rooted in culture. But to bring this vision into the visual realm, he needed a collaborator who could translate abstract ideas into tangible, wearable designs. That's where Ruth E. Carter came in. Carter, a veteran costume designer, approached the project with a deep respect for African heritage, spending years researching tribal textiles, jewelry patterns, and ceremonial garments from across the continent. Her goal was to create costumes that were authentic, functional, and narratively meaningful, giving each character a wardrobe that reflected their personality, status, and cultural identity. Working closely with Coogler, she blended these traditional influences with futuristic elements, designing T'Challa's regal yet sleek costume. Okeyu's warrior armor inspired by the Ndebele tribe, Shuri's tech-driven fashion, and Nakaya's adaptive movement-focused attire. The collaboration between Coogler and Carter ensured that every stitch, color, and silhouette told a story, not just about the character, but about Wakanda itself. Coogler's direction set the narrative and emotional tone, while Carter's costume design visually communicated that story. Together, they created a world where culture, history, and innovation intersect, making Wakanda and its characters instantly iconic and resonant. What is this story about? Black Panther is a Marvel superhero film that follows T'Challa, the newly crowned king of Wakanda, a secretive and technological advanced African nation. After the death of his father T'Challa's returned home to take the throne, stepping into the role of both monarch and protector of his people. Wakanda is unlike any other country in the world. It has remained hidden for centuries, preserving its rich culture and harnessing a rare metal called vibranium to develop advanced technology. But T'Challa's leadership is quickly challenged with Eric Killmonger, a skilled and vengeful outsider with a personal claim to the throne, arrives, forcing him to confront not only physical battles, but also moral and political questions about Wakanda's place in the world. The film explores themes of identity, legacy, and responsibility, highlighting the tension between tradition and progress. T'Challa struggles to balance the weight of his father's expectations, the needs of his people, and the demands of a world that doesn't yet know Wakanda exists. Alongside him are strong allies like Shuri, his brilliant sister, Oyaki, the fierce general of the Dora Milaje, Nakaya, a spy committed to helping others, and Ramonda, his wise mother. Together they navigate battles, conspiracies, and ethical dilemmas that test their loyalty, courage, and vision for the future. Black Panther is also significant for its cultural impact. It celebrates African heritage and combining traditional influence with the futuristic aesthetic, and addresses real-world themes such as social justice, leadership, and global responsibility. Beyond the action and spectacle, the film is a story about family, community, and what it means to be a leader who honors the past while shaping the future. With this groundbreaking representation and rich world building, Black Panther stands as a milestone in superhero cinema, merging entertainment with meaningful cultural commentary. Character breakdown. T'Challa. Costume-wise, T'Challa's fashion is a masterclass in quiet luxury meeting cultural power. His Black Panther suit is sleek, minimal, and razor-sharp, designed with no extra bulk or unnecessary ornamentation, reflecting his controlled, observant nature. The suit is more from a matte black vibranium-inspired material that absorbs light rather than reflecting it, emphasizing his teeth and disciplined movements. This isn't just aesthetics. Ruth E. Carter intentionally worked with materials that could capture both futuristic texture and practicality, ensuring the suit felt textile and believable as advanced technology while remaining grounded in Wakandan culture. The silver accents and the iconic claw necklace are inspired by various African regalia, particularly West African beadwork and collars, and Carter has said that she wanted these details to symbolically anchor T'Challa and his ancestry, while making the look feel modern and timeless. Beyond the superhero suit, T'Challa's everyday and ceremonial wardrobe is equally deliberate. Carter layered tailored fabrics, textured weaves, and earth-tone textiles to create a regal aesthetic without ostentation. His coronation outfits, for example, combines deep purples, blacks, and subtle metallic threads, evoking royalty while avoiding flashy or westernized trappings of power. Carter has noted in interviews that she approached Wakandan clothing as functional ceremonial wear, where texture and layering carry as much weight as color or ornamentation. What makes T'Challa's wardrobe exceptional is its balance of tradition and innovation. Carter researched multiple African cultures, drawing from Zulu beadwork, Maasai patterns, and Mbele collar designs, and reinterpreted these elements through a sci-fi lens, blending heritage with technology. The result is a wardrobe that feels timeless, sophisticated, and narrative-driven, reinforcing his role as a king who respects his roots while leading his nation into the future. Ultimately, T'Challa's fashion isn't about dominance or intimidation. It's about dignity, legacy, and quiet authority. Every line, color, and detail communicates leadership, cultural respect, and calm confidence. As Carter herself emphasized, the clothing assumes power without needing to shout. In T'Challa's case, the suit doesn't make him powerful. The man already is. The wardrobe simply makes that power visible. Eric Killmonger. Eric Killmonger's look is a visual manifesto of militarism, rebellion, and controlled rage. Contrasting sharply with T'Challa's polished ceremonial style, Ruth E. Carter designed Killmonger's wardrobe to reflect a man forged by war, abandonment, and survival. Someone whose life outside Wakanda has left him hardened, pragmatic, and raw. Unlike T'Challa's suits of refined vibranium and regal tailoring, Killmonger's clothing is utilitarian. Layered textures, dark fabrics, and tactical vests and heavy boots create a street meet soldier aesthetic. Every element is purposeful. There's no decoration for decoration's sake. Carter has mentioned in interviews that Killmonger's look was meant to feel lived in, functional, and confrontational, reflecting someone who approaches the world with urgency and focus rather than ceremony. Perhaps the most striking aspect of his costume is his chest tattoos, ritual sacrification marks representing his kills and personal achievements. These scars aren't just decoration, they're a physical narrative of trauma and triumph, turning his body into both a weapon and a record of his past. Carter designed these marks to be painstakingly detailed, symmetrical, and visually unsettling, signaling a life lived without softness or protection. They are the ultimate visual storytelling device, communicating Killmonger's philosophy even before he speaks. He is unfiltered, aggressive, and uncompromising. When Killmonger enters Wakanda, his design never fully assimilates into the royal aesthetic. His sharp silhouettes, angular lines, and edgy haircut clash against Wakanda's flowing, heritage-inspired garments, creating visual tension between rebellion and tradition. His upgraded Black Panther suit further emphasizes this contrast. Where T'Challa's suit exudes calm authority, Killmonger's gold-accented armor feels aggressive, almost radiating anger outward through the glowing lines. Ruth E. Carter intentionally created Killmonger's wardrobe to visually communicate his worldview. Power must be taken by force. Tradition is secondary and compromise is weakness. Every layer, texture, and scar tells the story of a man who rejects belonging and embraces upheaval, making Killmonger's fashion not just clothing, but a visceral extension of his character, ideology, and lived experience. Shuri. Shuri's costume design is a direct reflection of her role as Wakanda's innovator and rule breaker, where T'Challa's wardrobe carries tradition and responsibility and restraint. Shuri's clothing signals experimentation, intelligence, and motion. Her looks immediately stand apart because they're designed for someone who is constantly creating, upgrading, and reimagining the world around her. Silhouette plays a huge role in defining Shuri's aesthetic. Her outfits are structured but flexible, often featuring cropped jackets, layered panels, and sleek athletic lines. These shapes suggest speed and adaptability. She's not meant to stand still or look ceremonial. She's meant to move, build, and problem solve. Even when she appears in royal settings, her clothing resists formality, reinforcing her refusal to be boxed into tradition. Technology is seamlessly integrated into her costume design. The materials feel futuristic, smooth, metallic, and engineered, blurring the line between fashion and function. Shuri dresses like a scientist, but one who understands design as deeply as she understands physics. Her garments feel wearable yet advanced, as if they're prototypes rather than finished products. Color is another storytelling tool. Shuri often wears purple, silvers, and jewel tones that tie her to Wakandian royalty, but her palette is brighter and more expressive than T'Challa's. This contrast visually marks her as the future of Wakanda, rooted in lineage but unafraid to innovate beyond it. Culturally, her costume pulled from African influences in a more abstract, modernized way. Traditional patterns and motifs are reinterpreted through a tech-forward lens rather than replicated literally. Accessories are minimal and purposeful, emphasizing intellect over ornamentation. Ultimately, Shuri's costume design represents progress. Her clothing tells the story of a woman pushing Wakanda forward, honoring her heritage while refusing to be limited by it. She doesn't just wear the future, she designs it. Okoye. Okoye's costume design is a perfect blend of tradition, strength, and purpose. As a general of the Dora Milaje, everything she wears is functional, intentional, and symbolic. Unlike T'Challa's regal attire or Shuri's experimental looks, Okoye's wardrobe is all about duty first, armor that allows her to move freely in battle while projecting authority and fearlessness. Her signature red and gold armor is inspired by real African cultures, especially the Ndebele tribe's ceremonial neck rings. These cultural elements are adapted into her battle gear, creating a design that honors heritage while feeling futuristic. Every line, panel, and accent serves a dual purpose: protection and storytelling. You can see it in the way her silhouette is strong and structured, while exposed arms that show readiness, discipline, and skill. There's no excess, no fluff, just precision. Color plays a huge role too. The deep red signal power and courage, while gold details emphasize status and honor. The materials themselves balance ceremony and practicality. They look ceremonial enough to reflect Wakanda's history, but are engineered for movement and combat. Even her hair and accessories are intentional. The shaved head is a visual statement of strength and unity within the Dora Milaje, rejecting conventional beauty standards to prioritize focus and discipline. And of course, her spear is an extension of her identity. Elegant, lethal, and symbolic. What makes Okoye's costume so compelling is how it communicates her role before she even speaks. She embodies loyalty, order, and tradition. She's Wakanda's backbone in motion. Compared to other characters, her design grounds the world. It's disciplined, regal, and undeniably powerful. In short, Okoye's wardrobe isn't just clothes or armor. It's a statement of identity, heritage, and unwavering commitment. Every stitch, color, and contour tells the story of a warrior who is as iconic visually as she is narratively. Nakia's costume design is all about movement, adaptability, and her dual identity as a warrior and a spy. From the very first scene, her wardrobe communicates that she's resourceful, fearless, and always ready to step into action. Whether she's undercover in another country or defending Wakanda, unlike T'Challa's regality, Shuri's playful futurism, or Okoye's strict discipline, Nakia's style is fluid, blending functionality with subtle elegance. Her comeback outfits are sleek and practical, designed to allow maximum mobility. The use of layered fabrics, form-fitting cuts and lightweight armor means she can move quickly while still looking polished. The green and earth tone palette often used for her gear not only differentiates her visually from the Dora Milaje, but also connects her to the natural environmental side of Wakanda, the part of the country she's deeply invested in protecting. Cultural inspiration plays a key role in Nakia's design. Her costumes incorporate traditional African patterns and textures, but reinterpret it in a way that feels modern and global, perfect for a character who operates both inside and outside Wakanda. Even her accessories, like her necklaces and earrings, are purposeful, reflecting status, identity, and strength without overwhelming her practicality. Her wardrobe also highlights her duality. She's a warrior and a diplomat, a protector and a strategist. You can see this is the contrast between her combat-ready outfits and her more ceremonial or undercover look. Both maintain elegance while signaling competence and authority. Overall, Nakia's costume designs communicates independence, intelligence, and empowerment. Her clothing tells a story of someone deeply rooted in Wakandan culture, yet adaptable enough to navigate the wider world. Every choice, from color and silhouette to cultural reference and utility, reinforces that Nakia is a fighter, a thinker, and a trailblazer, making her one of the most visually and narratively dynamic characters in Black Panther. Queen Ramonda. Queen Ramonda costume design is all about regality, wisdom, and ceremonial power. As the matriarch of Wakanda, her wardrobe communicates authority, heritage, and a deep connection to tradition. Unlike T'Challa's functional royal attire or Shuri's tech-inspired looks, Ramonda's costumes are bold, elegant, and steeped in cultural symbolism. Her clothing immediately tells you she is a queen. Her silhouettes are structured and commanding, often featuring flowing robes, capes, and dramatic colors that frame her presence. These shapes emphasize stature and authority, while the fabrics themselves, heavy silks, brocades, and layered textiles, give her a sense of gravitas. Everything about her look signals leadership without needing words. Color is key in Ramonda's design. She frequently wears deep purples, vibrant blues, and rich metallics, colors traditionally associated with royalty and spirituality across various African cultures. These tones communicate dignity, strength, and wisdom. Even the metallic accents, embroidery, and subtle patterning carry symbolic weight, tying her wardrobe to Wakanda's history and cultural heritage. Her headpieces and crowns are another critical element. They're inspired by real African ceremonial crowns, often exaggerated and stylized for film, framing her face and emphasizing her role as both protector of tradition and guiding force for the next generation. Unlike other characters, Ramonda's costume isn't about action. It's about presence, authority, and storytelling through clothing. And even in moments of tension or grief, her wardrobe remains stately, reminding viewers that she embodies the heart of Wakanda's monarchy. Her clothing reflects not just royalty, but resilience, wisdom, and grace under pressure. In short, Queen Ramonda's costume design is a masterclass in visual storytelling. Every fabric choice, color, and silhouette communicates power, heritage, and maternal authority, making her instantly recognizable as Wakanda's queen and a figure of cultural strength. Zuri. Zuri's costume design is subtle but deeply intentional, reflecting his role as spiritual guide, advisor, and a keeper of Wakandan's tradition. Unlike the warriors of royalty, Zuri's wardrobe isn't about power or physicality, it's about wisdom, heritage, and a connection to Wakanda's history. His clothing visually communicates that he's someone who exists between worlds, a spiritual anchor for T'Challa, yet also a figure who understands both tradition and change. Silhouette and layering are key to Zuri's look. He often wears long flowing robes, layered tunics, giving him a grounded, almost monk-like presence. The cuts are simple but dignified, allowing him to move with calm authority rather than dominance. His robes flow in a way that visually separates him from the action-driven characters, signaling thoughtfulness, patience, and guidance. Color choices in Zuri's wardrobe are deliberate. Earth tones, muted blacks, and warm neutrals connect him to the natural world and Wakanda's spiritual roots. Occasionally, subtle pops of gold or patterned fabric hint at his connection to the royal family and the sacred tradition he serves. Every shade reinforces his identity as a keeper of knowledge rather than a participant in combat. Accessories and details are also meaningful. Beaded necklaces, ceremonial markings, and fabric patterns are inspired by various African spiritual traditions, linking Zuri to ancestry and reinforcing his wisdom. Nothing is flashy, everything is symbolic. Overall, Zuri's costume design communicates heritage, spirituality, and calm authority. His clothing tells the story of a man who is deeply rooted in culture, connected to the past, and guiding the present generation with quiet power. Every fold, layer, and color choice is purposeful, making Zuri's wardrobe a subtle but essential part of Wakanda's visual storytelling. Why the symbol Black Panther? Black Panther, also known as T'Challa, is more than just a Marvel superhero. He is a cultural milestone and a visual symbol of Black excellence. Introduced in Fantastic Four 52 in 1966 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, he was the first Black superhero in mainstream American comics, debuting during a pivotal year in American history, the same year the Black Panther Party was founded in Oakland, California. Unlike many heroes who gain powers through accidents or experiments, T'Challa inherits his strength, agility, and senses through both lineage and the mystical heart-shaped herb, positioning him not only as a hero, but also as a monarch with the responsibility to protect his people and preserve their culture. Within the Marvel Universe, he plays a dual role, a solo hero and a member of the Avengers, bridging personal leadership with global responsibility. His intelligence, nobility, and access to advanced Wakandan technology challenged long-standing stereotypes, providing a vision of a Black character who was self-sufficient, authoritative, and culturally grounded at a time when such representation was almost entirely absent from mainstream media. The timing of his creation and even his name are deeply tied to real-world history. The Black Panther Party, founded by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale in 1966, arose as a response to systematic racism, police brutality, and economic oppression. Their mission combined self-defense, social services, and community empowerment, creating a model of Black leadership rooted in both resistance and care. Marvel's Black Panther draws direct symbolic inspiration from the party. Strength, pride, and resilience and sovereignty are central to his identity. Where the party fought for tangible systematic change, T'Challa represents the aspirational future of a self-governing, technologically advanced African nation. His Wakanda is untouched by colonization, thriving independently and visually rich in African culture, mirroring the party's message of self-determination and pride in Black identity. This connection is not only narrative but also visual, particularly in costume design. T'Challa's Black Panther suit, designed by Ruth E. Carter, embodies this synthesis of power, tradition, and futurism. The matte black vibranium fabric absorbs light rather than reflecting it, reinforcing his controlled, disciplined necklace, while silver accents and the claw necklace are drawn directly from African regalia, signaling ancestral heritage. Even outside the suit, his ceremonial clothing, like carnation robes, features layered textures, deep purples, and earth tones, reinforcing royalty across African cultures while conveying quiet authority. Every stitch, pattern, and silhouette is a deliberate choice, making his wardrobe a visual extension of Black empowerment, leadership, and sovereignty. Echoing the ideals that the Black Panther Party fought for in reality. Ultimately, both the real-world Black Panther Party and Marvel's Black Panther serve as symbols of empowerment and self-determination. One embodies activism and community resilience, the other imagination and representation. Together they tell a story of Black leadership, pride, and vision, showing that strength is not only physical or political, it is also cultural, intellectual, and visual. Through T'Challa's costumes, his story, and his very presence, Black Panther invites audiences to imagine a world where Black people are their heroes, innovators, and leaders of their own destiny. So, from T'Challa's regal presence to Shuri's tech-forward genius, Okai's disciplined strength, Nakai's adaptability, and the wisdom of Ramonda and Zuri, every costume in Black Panther tells a story. These designs aren't just about looking cool. They're about heritage, identity, and the legacy of Wakanda brought to life on screen. The wardrobe communicates personality, culture, and a purpose in a way that makes each character instantly memorable. Now, I want to hear from you. Which Black Panther costume or costume design stood out to you the most and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love seeing how others interpret the symbolism woven into these amazing designs.